Good morning and welcome everybody. The Mondrian brothers are back once more to look at automated lighting this week. We're going to show you one of our latest powerhouse units and how it can be used in the biggest venues to bring something extra to your designs and your productions with an unparalleled optical quality and an unrivaled feature set.
Yeah, and in today's coffee break, we will talk about how it is important nowadays to have a hotspot and why that can be a benefit for you. And on the other hand, we talk about how Elation took the LED technology to the next level to set, again, a new standard in the lighting industry. And we would like to welcome you to join us for another coffee break. Grab your mug, sit back, relax. Cheers, everyone, and here we go.
So yes, today we get to show you our new Artiste Mondrian Profile FX fixture in more detail. So this is our brightest fixture at Elation, and it's really a dynamic long throw projection specialist. It's also the newest additional member to our award-winning Artiste family of theatrical-grade luminaires. So these units all work in conjunction with their sister products to provide a complete toolbox for the lighting designer at the top of the Artiste range.
And the Artiste range is not only at home in theaters, but also on the biggest stages in TV studios and any application where you need the best, the most silent, the most fully equipped fixtures. So today everything is about big, bright and beautiful.
And the Mondrian brings some of our unique, original and exclusive technologies that the Artiste range typifies, such as 360-degree continuous rotation framing system and our special color mixing system, SpectraColor. And it puts them into this exceptionally powerful 51,000 lumen unit with a hotspot LED engine for high center beam intensity. So that high center beam intensity combined with an impressively narrow beam capability and this large 226 millimeter plano-convex front lens makes the unit ideal for the biggest venues, the longest throws, and the most eye-catching aerial looks. And we're going to have a look at all of this today.
Yeah, and if you guys have any questions during this live stream, please leave us a comment, send us a message, and be in touch with us. So we want to be interactive with you, and we would like to answer all your questions which come up during this live session.
So the Mondrian is part of a powerhouse 950-watt trio within the theatrical-grade Artiste range. So it joins the Monet Profile and the Rembrandt Wash luminaires to cover everything you need for large theater, arena, or stadium productions. But they're also perfect for a TV show, for example, where you may have used those old 1700-watt discharge lamps in the past.
Exactly, and this trio of products even share technologies, modules, and parts. They work alongside with each other, and they have the same 6500K color temperature, which is very important if you want to work with them right next to each other. And they all share the same color mixing system and the same framing module, for example. This new Artiste series lineup brings us perfect color reprojection, high output, precise, well-engineered optics to set a new standard in quality, creativity, and elegance. And the Mondrian completes this trio with this exceptional tight, bright beam and very unique optical qualities.
So you can So you can still view our previous live streams to catch up on both of those sister products before. So in our very first live stream, coffee break number 1, which seems so long ago, we looked at the Monet in more detail. But more recently, in number 13, we looked at the Rembrandt in a lot more detail as well. So feel free to click on videos and check those out later.
Absolutely, it makes sense to watch those because these features they all share is a great benefit for all the lighting designers out there, programmers or operators who want to have less stress and less headache when they're working even on the biggest shows, because it saves a lot of time if you have the same color temperature, if you have the same gobo sets, if you have the same features like the framing module inside. And we'll use a few fixtures for you today to show the long throw capabilities, to show some mid-air effects and some other features. And of course, as we go along, we'll talk about photometrics, software, and control.
So let's make a start with this full bright white output and discuss optics, photometrics, and the quality of light. So the Mondrian is a 950-watt unit with its 6500K cold white hotspot LED engine. So the hotspot engine allows a high center beam intensity for powerful long throw projections and a stunning aerial performance. That efficient, optimized engine and the precise optical path get us over 51,000 lumens out of the front with a crisp focus and a beautiful, even field.
Yeah, and then we come again to my favorite topic. It's the lumen output. And the lumen output on the front lens is 51,000 lumen coming from only 950 watts LED power. And this is something we would like to encourage you when you look at those photometric test reports. We have very detailed photometric test reports where you can see all these kind of information, which brightness you have at a certain distance, and so on and so on. So all these information you will find on our website underneath each product. And this is something we would really like to compare you, first of all, the lumen output, and then you take a look at the LED wattage, and then you really know how efficient a fixture can be, because for that output, 51,000 lumen, we only need 950 watts, and that is really incredible and remarkable why this optical system is working very well, and that we can show in our photometric test reports. And not to forget about, we have a 5 years warranty on the LED engine. This is also something very special, so you can sit back and relax. The LED is working, and we really get you covered with a 5 years warranty on the LED engine.
But of course, for the ultimate long throw and mid-air performance, our engineers needed to ensure that the Mondrian has an incredible zoom range. So at the narrowest, the zoom goes to 3 degrees. As always, the unit has an iris, which could be added to get an even smaller aperture. We're going to have a look at that a little bit later on. But you can already start to see the beam-like qualities the unit can offer. That large 226 front lens adds to the unit's ability to create dynamic shafts or beams of light such as this.
And you can really see how big the lens is. I mean, that's bigger than my entire hand here. It's really an incredible front lens, which really collects all the light and makes sure you have a very, very tight beam. But the other secret behind this incredible output is the unique 2:1 ratio hotspot LED engine, which we have designed especially for long throw applications. And we were really the first ones ever who purposely designed such a hotspot LED engine. And the same type of LED hotspot engine you will find also on the Proteus Maximus and the Proteus Lucius, our IP65 products. And that's where you really need a lot of punch and a lot of output when you work in an outside environment. So whenever you see this hotspot projection, you know it is on purpose to reach long distances, great beams, and more intensity.
So that powerful output and the narrow beam angle of 3 degrees leaves the Mondrian ideally suited to even be a very long throw follow spot specialist as well for those big arena and stadium shows. So over the past few years, we've seen follow spot systems coming along that use automated lighting in the rig to manually track performers as they move on stage. And some of them even offer an automatic tracking too, thanks to belt packs and sensors, etc. So this really allows any moving head to be used as a spot, cutting costs by using fixtures that are already in your design and removing those old enormous follow spots, and therefore the associated lamp and labor costs. And not to mention the actual sometimes dangerous positions that follow spot operators have to work in. So in fact, in our next stream, hopefully in 3 weeks' time, we're going to look at one of those systems and demonstrate it with our own fixtures. We're going to use one called Follow Me, and we're going to show how that can be used with our moving heads, including the Mondrian. But when we were putting this stream together, we obviously wanted to really try to give you examples of the long throw capability. But of course, in the current pandemic, ideally we would have went to an arena or a stadium nearby and shot you some footage. But for this purpose, we extended our showroom and projected on the back wall. And I think we have some footage now to show you.
Exactly, that's what you see in about 30-something meters distance. So that's the end of our outside arena or our area of the showroom. That's where we usually sit together and have a coffee. So you see now the Mondrian coming into the picture, and that is a large distance, and you can see it fully zoomed in with a little bit of iris additionally when we go to the very narrow point. This is what you see right now. And you see the incredible brightness there. It's something like 8,000 lux. I've measured that yesterday with a lux meter for you, and the distance is incredible. But you see that these fixtures can really handle even the largest distance. So that's very interesting for those of you who want to do follow spot applications, and that's something we will see in the next coffee break. But yeah, the Mondrian, of course, is suited in large theaters, and you see now how it goes up to 46 degrees beam angle. That's incredible. You can really fill the largest stations, TV stations or TV studios with that incredible beam. You can work in arena and stadiums productions with this monster 51,000 lumen output. And the units are likely to be on camera a lot. So for a quality of light, you sometimes need a higher CRI, so it's just a click away by your DMX console. You can slot in a high CRI filter for really precise CRI measurements, and we have it also on the photometric test reports, which you can see on our website. And please take a look at how great the LED color spectrum is actually, because then you know how great the units will work on camera, and you can see it here. It is really suited perfectly here in our little TV set, which we have for you. So whenever you have a shootout coming up, please take a look at the photometric test reports, so you can print them out and take them to a shootout or to a comparison with other fixtures from the market, and you can really see how great they perform and how great the LED color spectrum is. And that's something we would like to welcome you to take a look for your next shootout or your next comparison. Let us know if you have any questions about it, or if you need any assistance from our side. Please send us an email, leave us a message, and we will back you up in this situation as well.
So let's move on to look at colors. So the color mixing system on board, of course, must be smooth, variable, and vibrant to showcase the amazingly bright LED engine. The Mondrian, of course, moves it to a new level with our SpectraColor system. You may have already seen this system in the Monet Profile or the Rembrandt wash, but let's take a closer look at it once again. So we really wanted to bring something innovative and new to enhance the lighting designer's creative options, but also make things quicker and easier to achieve. And so with this, SpectraColor was born. So it gives us a complete suite of 7 pairs of 16-bit color mixing flags. We have CMY, as you'd expect, but we also have fully variable pure red, green, and blue flags with beautifully rich primary colors. And finally, we also give a CTO that allows you to go variably down to 2,700 Kelvin.
So again, we are having a white LED source here, and the 7 flags go in front of it, and that color mixing system with CMY, RGB, and CTO, and you can see them all here lined up. This is very unique in our industry, and we were the first ones with this system. So let's take a look at all 7 pairs and flags, and starting with the CMY, it's like vibrant and rich and smooth colors coming in here.
And now you can see the pure red, green, and blue flags. We're going to look at those in a little bit more detail, though, because as we look at RGB, at the red, green, and blue flags, we're going to do a slower fade into each. And this is to emphasize that they're fully variable and therefore can offer seamless crossfades too. So other manufacturers, for example, may be able to give you a saturated green or a red, but it's often only going to be coming within the dichroic color wheel. So you can't crossfade, and it's not very seamless, it's not variable. So it's important to also add with these pure red, green, and blue flags that you just have 1 pair of flags coming into the beam to create the color. So if you're using a CMY-only system to create a red, for example, you'd have 2 pairs of flags coming in, which already compromises your output. Of course, this doesn't happen here. So as we do these slow fades to full, it'll allow you to immediately start seeing the possibilities and the intermediate colors that you can get to. So let's try a slow fade into red firstly. So we pass through some coral, salmon, even fire tones as we arrive at this dark, saturated blood red. Next up, let's try slow fade into pure green. So we pass through some teal, pastel, almost mint tones, ending with this vibrant, saturated green. And then finally, pure blue. So this time we see some lavenders, light, medium purples, finishing with this rich medium blue. And this is versus the Congo blue that you typically get from a CMY mix of blue.
And so now it's finally possible to select just a very slight intensity of a primary color, or you can color snap between those primary colors without jumping around on your color wheels, things you did in the past. You used the color wheel to do some color snapping. It's possible, of course, because we have a color wheel inside, but now it's easier than ever before because we have those primary colors just a click away on those color flags. And yeah, just use the RGB flags and play with them, and it's just a great idea for new designs and some personal touch for your next show, and definitely a great tool and some fun for the LDs and for those of you who would like to do something very special and something very creative. So here it's really just a click away and everything in one unit.
So this full suite of 7 pairs of flags means those difficult or even impossible colors to dial in should not only be accessed quickly, but are fully achievable now. So those interesting colors that maybe a theater or opera production sometimes need, such as this sodium, for example, or even moving along some of these watery sort of colors that people often are looking for. And finally, even this burnt orange. These are now really within your reach and easily accessible.
And the Mondrian has the same fixed color wheel as the Monet and the Rembrandt, and offering these quick and easy colors and that high CURI filter, which we have mentioned. So that is really on board on the Mondrian, on the Rembrandt, and on the Monet.
So next we're going to look at gobos. So the unit has 2 gobo wheels inside with a total of 12 carefully selected patterns to offer both aerials, textures, and breakups. So some are organic, some are geometric, but all are selected carefully to give the highest contrast. And of course, that hotspot LED engine with the high center intensity allows the gobos to be very punchy for long throw applications. So let's look at the first wheel. This one gives you these 6 fully indexable glass gobos, ending with the familiar water effect textured glass. And we'll move on to the second gobo wheel. So the second add these 6 glass gobos with some great aerials in there that create some rather interesting effects combined with the prisms, and we're going to see that a little later. But for now, we're going to move a unit into the camera to see how some of these patterns behave with that high center beam intensity. So here's the first example. We're getting a little bit of camera glare, of course, with the particular cameras that we use. Let's throw in another example. And finally, a couple of colors.
Yeah, and you can already see that it looks like a laser-like effect. It's just great to see them on camera and to really do some aerial effects here. And if you guys have any questions, please type in the questions, send them to us. We are here to answer all your questions, and we want to be in touch with you guys. Let us know what you think and what you feel when you see these great examples here of the incredible projection of the Artiste Mondrian.
And of course, the unit also has this 360-degree bi-directional animation wheel, which of course can look amazing, carefully combined with prism, colors, gobo, and maybe playing with the focus as well. So it's fully variable and with full speed control in either direction. So we can slow it right down to actually move very subtly in its movement. And let's see a few examples now if it's slightly out of focus combined with one of those gobos as well. So firstly, this is the water effects textured glass. We hope this comes across well on camera, but it looks really, really beautiful and organic in person. And the second example, so this is the dots on the animation wheel combined with the dots gobo. So again, it looks really fluid and organic.
Yeah, and as mentioned before, the Mondrian brings us an iris. So again, offering a more narrow beam for some impressive animations for your aerial effects. And that is something, the 51,000 lumens really have enough brightness to even cut through longer distances when you have the iris fully in. And you can see how fast the iris is. It's just great to see it on camera and how it is performing.
Indeed, these pulsating effects are actually macros that are on board as well, so you can select them and implement them in seconds to give your creativity a little helping hand and make things a little quicker for you. But we also have 2 variable frost filters inside as well. So let's look at the first one. So this is actually a light frost that you would use to diffuse a gobo. So let's put in a gobo, and in a couple of seconds, that frost will just diffuse that for you. But then the second is this wash frost. Here we go. So this is creates this nice optimized wash field, making this Profile FX unit easily a powerhouse wash fixture as well, giving a bit more adaptation and versatility to your production needs. And because of that high center beam intensity, it almost acts like a PC wash effect as well, which I know a lot of people out there really like. And moving on, the creativity continues with 2 prisms. So this is another instance where the 51,000 lumens really proves its value, cutting through this glass to keep the unit punchy and intense. So the first is this 4-facet circular prism. And let's just add in another gobo just to change that up.
Another great advantage here, you can really overlay those prisms, and that is not possible in all the machines on the market. So whenever you do a comparison or shootout, please also take a look at those little details, because overlaying some prisms, that is a great effect. And just be sure that the next machine you're getting in your inventory has this little feature. So yeah, if you would like, we can always help you, assist you when you do a shootout or a comparison.
And then moving to the second prism, so this is a 4-facet linear. So again, it looks really great. Let's throw in another gobo as an example. So it really looks great as an aerial effect. But next, we move on to our award-winning original and unique framing shutter system. So here's a little video to help introduce it for you.
And that is the great video where we show the award-winning framing system, endless rotation, 360 degrees with 4 blades, and those 4 blades can fully close from 0 to 100% from each corner. And we won the Plaza Award 2019 for this framing system, because the judges said it's the first time ever they see such a system being powered by induction power. And that is actually something you know from your mobile phone. When you charge it without a cable, you just put it on an induction coil and it gets charged. And this is actually the way how we power up the entire framing module. And that was the reason why the judges said that's a Plaza Award. Well, the only thing they had to mention was that it was not capable of charging your phone, so you cannot place your phone here and it won't charge. But there are definitely other ways how you can charge your phone.
So let's look at this framing system up close. So each of the 4 blades can fully black out the beam, as you can see. So they can move seamlessly with very slow precision, or they can snap incredibly quickly. But at any speed, of course, the repeatability and the positioning remains as accurate as you would sort of demand it to be, of course.
And when you compare fixtures, please always check if the blades can fully black out, because some products in the market cannot fully close, but our blades can really go from one side fully to the other side. And this is what you need when you want to do great effects or fast effects or some snapping effects. So with this framing system, it's possible. And please always compare for your next shootout that, or make sure that your blades fully close from one end to the other.
So let's look at a few example shapes. So we're firstly going to snap quickly between them just to show the capability of this reliable system. But of course, we know you want elegant slowness as well. So now let's try a little 6-second fade into a triangle. So you can see there's no jerkiness, no stickiness. It's buttery smooth. And of course, now we move on to the 360-degree continuous rotation. And again, like the blades themselves, the module rotation can be silky, seamlessly slow, or faster. So this is actually moving at the slowest speed possible. So I think you can see that. Just buttery smooth again, just moving very slow. But let's speed it up, of course. It's capable of much faster speeds. So no longer are you limited with just indexing rotation only. This module can really rotate forever. Let's throw in some other shapes.
Yeah, and right now you would think it's maybe a gobo which is rotating, but no, it is the framing shutter system. So we have the endless rotation on that framing shutter system, and that's absolutely unique in the market. And again, that's the reason why we won the Plaza Award 2019 for this very unique and great system. So it looks like a gobo, but it's really the framing shutter system, and that allows you to create any size or any shape you want and to give your show or your design really a personal touch and a lot of flexibility during the programming and during your design.
And of course, because it now rotates 360 degrees, you can really start to use framing as an aerial, as this final example can show you. So moving on to software. So as we said, the Mondrian is suited to large theaters and TV performances. So therefore, the dimming, of course, must be perfect. So we have the usual variable dimming modes and curves for various applications on board and ready to select and use. So these can be selected and programmed on a cue-by-cue basis, offering the lighting designer complete control. So these options change not only the path of the dimming, but also the rise and the downtime. So for example, the theater mode offers a longer rise and longer downtime, giving a more gentle, gradual, smooth dimming for that particular use. But of course, several other options give modified times for architectural, TV, stage, etc., etc.
And so you can see we did, again, a lot of programming here as usual to really give you full control and flexibility. And this is something we always put a lot of efforts in to make the little details even very perfect, and that is something which is software, or why software nowadays is very, very important.
And you can have further control of dimming by selecting options on the dimmer path or curve. So a linear path offers an even distribution of light across the dimmer channel, whereas the square, inverse square, or S-curve offer a fine or a coarse behavior at the path at certain levels. And those would be incorporated with the dimmer delay times, which are also implemented, giving you selectable fade times with the touch of a button. But of course, other software enhancements are on board you've come to expect from us at Elation. So those changeable LED refresh rates to help eradicate any flicker for on-camera work. But also, we have those 5 different fan modes to give you a quiet fixture when you need it most. So the Mondrian can easily be used in theaters with various quiet modes, offering discrete operation of the unit.
And the mute mode is one of these modes, and the mute mode is great for any application or situation where you really need absolute silence, so you can really hear a needle drop again. And this is another standard which we set when it comes to silent operation, and you really have to try it. It's worth try it, and it's worth to get your hand on the unit and really to not only see it, but also hear it, because then you can be sure that it's really what you need for your next show and your next design.
So that really covers the Mondrian for today. I'm not seeing any questions coming in, although we're getting lots of positive comments on our dress sense, Frederick. So that's always nice to hear. So yes, that really covers the Mondrian. It's 51,000 lumens. We should also mention it also works incredibly well even at a lower intensity. So for example, let's dim this down. This is about 10%, and you can already see it's still humongously bright.
Yeah, the brightness is really hard to catch on camera, but you can see it really looks like it's glowing, everything here, and it really looks like a laser sword. So please get your hands on one of those units and send us a message if you want to try them out, because it's really worth taking a look at those units at any stadium, really large venue or theater or TV station, wherever you are. Please send us a message, and we would like to show this fixture to you, because it's really hard to judge how bright it really is. You really have to see it with your own eyes in your venue, and then you can really tell how bright 51,000 lumen are. And thank you so much for being with us. Any questions? Anything coming up?
No more questions. So yeah, I think that's really, oh, actually, do we? The noise level, we have something like the silent mode on the Monet. Yes, we have those exact same modes. Really, we have the same 5 different modes offering you various levels of quiet fixture. Really the same as the Monet and the same as the Rembrandt. It's really across a lot of our fixtures now.
Exactly. Yeah, that's very important for you guys to know that all the features are the same in those 3 type of fixtures, so you can really work with them along with each other or right next with each other. So even the fan modes are the same in all those fixtures, and that is very important when you play with those machines together. So again, the color temperature, the mute modes, the fan modes, the color system, the color mixing system, and the gobos, the framing system, everything is the same in the Artiste Monet, Artiste Rembrandt, and Artiste Mondrian.
So that's the Mondrian, 51,000 lumens, powerful projections, stunning aerials with its gobo collection and those mid-air beams, vibrant colors, and really an unrivaled FX package and optics to make everything look seamless and faultless. It's really a great addition to the Artiste range. So yes, like Frederick says, get your hands on a demo unit from your local Elation dealer or distributor, and check out the rest of the Artiste family online at elationlighting.eu. So that's it from me. We'll see you in 3 weeks for another coffee break live stream. It's a goodbye from me.
Thank you so much, guys. Enjoy the rest of the day. Have another coffee with us, and send us some messages, leave us a comment. It was good to be here with you again. See you very soon, and take care.